So, Johnathan Majors is heading to trial. We have some new developments in this case. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I go by the name of Dr. Heinz. For those that don't know, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning into another Heinz classic. Can I call myself that? Oh, Jesus Christ. If you are a new subscriber, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the video. And thank you so much for tuning in and watching one of our videos. In today's video, we are diving into the latest developments of the Johnathan Majors case. This includes the recent hearing and the letter that was given for the case to the judge by Johnathan Majors' lawyer, Priya. Now, this case has been scheduled to go to trial on the 3rd of August. So it's going to be interesting what happens at trial. I'll be giving my thoughts on all of this after I have presented all the objective facts in regards to the case, what's been reported, and go and dive right into the letter. So without further ado, let's get started on this. So to recap, Johnathan Majors, known for his roles in films such as Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, as well as the shows like Lovecraft Country and Loki, his world came crashing in the speed of dark when he was arrested on March 25th, 2023 for domestic violence. The news of this resulted in several deals being pulled from him. He was fired by his own publicist, and he had to hire Priya's husband to basically handle his media affairs. And they have been on the offense ever since, putting out as much evidence as possible to try and clean up his public image. Marvel Studios are the only entity that actually do remain very quiet on this situation. However, with all that context, on the 27th of March, following the arrest and the allegations that led to public consequences, Majors released the text messages that basically showed his conversation with the accuser. These text messages showed his accuser, which was later identified by the New York Post and Page 6 as Grace Jabari. On the previous video that I've actually done on this, on the 5th of April, we actually identified Grace Jabari. We just didn't say who it was, but because Majors didn't actually say who it was or anything like that, but we actually brought in, you know, the pictures in regards to that. So yes, your boy did that. Your friendly neighborhood ketchup man did that. Grace had actually apologized on the texts that were leaked, expressing her love for him, and seemed to have recanted these statements and complained. However, on the hearing on May 8th, the prosecutors, which are the DA, for those that don't know, responded with amended complaints, apparently saying that it was aligning them better with the information that was provided by the accuser. I will give my thoughts on this much later on. In this hearing, the 8th of May, the defense presented nightclub CCTV footage that they also leaked online, you know, to say that she wasn't injured at all in that footage. We covered it here on this channel. We done a whole deep dive into that and the texts, and also everything that Priya was claiming had happened leading up to the arrest and the call to the police. So, and we also contextualize all of it. So yeah, do check out the videos. They are in the title card above. There's a lot of information in there, as with all of our videos. So with that little self-promotion over, let's get back to the video. So following the May 8th hearing, on the 20th of June hearing, which is present day, it was actually revealed that Grace had admitted to being heavily intoxicated, consuming copious amounts of alcohol and significant amount of sleeping pills. There was body cam footage acknowledging this intoxication and the fact that she had taken sleeping pills, and she doesn't even know how she got the cuts. So yeah, it blew the case. Well, reading that blew the case out of the water, and we're going to dive into the letter where Priya had actually submitted to the courts. We kind of have at least some form of substantiation in regards to Johnathan Majors' lawyer Priya's public statements on all this. So we're gonna dive right into a letter to basically go through all this with you. So here it is. Anyway, it goes on to say, Your Honor, I represent Johnathan Majors on May 8th, 2023 is the next appearance in this matter. On April 13th, 2023, ADA Kelly Galloway wrote to the court requesting an advancement. I'm guessing Kelly Galloway is the prosecutor of this appearance, so that a full order of protection could be entered in favor of the alleged victim, Grace Jabari. In ADA Galloway's request, she sets forth 4 statements by Ms. Jabari, which we contest. We have presented the district attorney's office with irrefutable evidence that Mr. Majors is innocent. In fact, our investigation has proved Mr. Majors' complete innocence and that Ms. Jabari has lied several times and cannot be trusted. ADA Galloway is in the process of reviewing this evidence, and we are hopeful that the district attorney will move quickly to dismiss this case, thus obviating the need for either advancement of the next appearance or a full order of protection here. A full order of protection has actually been granted. So Grace Jabari does actually have a full order of protection against Majors. So Majors cannot go in any capacity near her. For the following reasons, we respectfully request that apologies for this is so bad on Chrome. We respectfully request the court deny ADA Assistant District Attorney Galloway's request for an advancement. In the alternative, should the court decide to enter a full order of protection, we request that this be done off the calendar, and to that end, Mr. Majors will consent to the full order of protection to assist the courts. The basis of our requests follow. Ms. Jabari claims that Mr. Majors had her in a car in Chinatown around 12 a.m. on March 25th, and during the incident, Mr. Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear. We have proved that this is a complete lie. The driver of the car saw and heard everything, and he will testify that Ms. Jabari attacked Mr. Majors in the car. And hours of security videos of Ms. Jabari after she left the car prove that she did not suffer any injury in the car, and certainly not at the hands of Mr. Majors. As the court will see below, after Mr. Majors ran away from Ms. Jabari, who physically attacked him, she was perfectly fine and completely uninjured. In fact, she went clubbing, got drunk, sent Mr. Majors angry text messages accusing him of infidelity, sent a suicide note to Mr. Majors, took a bunch of sleeping pills, and then 11 hours later was found alone in a locked bedroom, unconscious on the floor of a closet with a cut behind her ear and a broken finger. Upon waking in a state that caused the paramedics to request a psychological evaluation, Ms. Jabari had no idea why she was on the floor of the closet, why her finger was hurt, or what happened to her ear. And no point between Mr. Majors running away from Ms. Jabari and Ms. Jabari returning to the bedroom did she have these injuries. Okay, now I understand why she said that she was why Priya was reporting that she was going through a mental breakdown. If the police done a mental evaluation, okay, that's a bit that will be material in the case. Here's what really happened. As witnessed by the driver who saw and heard everything, just before 1 a.m., Ms. Jabari assaulted Mr. Majors in a car while she was attempting to steal his phone. The driver will testify that Mr. Majors never struck Jabari in any way at any time or even raised his voice, and instead, while Ms. Jabari was hitting, scratching, and attacking Mr. Majors begged the driver to open the door so that he could jump out of the car and escape her. The driver will testify that he unlocked the door to help Mr. Majors escape. Ms. Jabari then attacked Mr. Majors on the street as he tried to run away from her. In doing so, and in trying to prevent him from escaping, she ripped his coat buttons and tore his coat pocket, but he got away. If he has this in evidence, I mean, Okay. A few minutes later, as Mr. Majors was trying to find the car so that he could escape Miss Jabari and go to a hotel, Miss Jabari saw Mr. Majors again and begged to get in the car. They got back into the car, and before the car door was even closed, she immediately resumed her physical attack to steal Mr. Majors' phone. Wait. So this was twice. A few minutes later, as Mr. Majors was trying to find a car to escape and go to a hotel, Miss Jabari saw and begged him to get back into the car before the car door even closed. She immediately resumed. So she started beating him again when he wouldn't get back into the car, basically. This time she did this in front of the driver and 3 people standing on the street. Once more, Mr. Majors jumped out of the car and literally ran away to protect himself. Mr. Majors took a taxi directly to a hotel on the Upper East Side and did not see Miss Jabari again until approximately 11:30 a.m. when he called a handyman to unlock his bedroom door and found her unconscious on the floor of a closet. A witness was on the phone with Mr. Majors when he found his door locked, called the handyman, and discovered Miss Jabari's unconscious body. Mr. Majors had no idea where Miss Jabari went after he left her at 1 a.m., what she did afterward, or why she was unconscious on a closet floor behind a locked door. That's why he was asking in the text. That's gonna be why he was asking in the text. Did you leave the keys? This is likely the context. I'm thinking about it. Did you leave the keys? She doesn't reply. He says goodbye. So he's like, well, I don't have keys to my own house. This is interesting. However, through an intensive investigation, including detailed review of hours of subpoenaed security camera video footage, we have discovered where Ms. Jabari went after attacking Mr. Majors and what she did. Okay, so footnote 2, photograph of Mr. Majors' injury and torn clothes provided the district attorney proved that Ms. Jabari attacked and injured Majors. We have provided district attorney with statements and contact information of all the witnesses herefore in. So I'm guessing these are just to point, like here, number 3 pointing there, and number 2 pointing that they've got evidence for this. I don't think it's attached here, but I think it may have been sent in a separate email or sent afterwards. Anyway, back to the letter. Directly after attacking, slapping, and cutting and scratching Mr. Majors, after ripping his clothes while he tried to escape her, Ms. Jabari went clubbing and entered Lucy's nightclub at Moxie Hotel at approximately 1:30 a.m. Just this fact alone shows that Ms. Jabari felt legally and morally entitled to physically assault Mr. Majors in front of witnesses and considered this event to have no consequences for her. What did Ms. Jabari do next? She bought an $800 bottle of champagne and deliberately charged it to Mr. Majors' credit card. The video of Ms. Jabari at the bar clearly shows her mood, light, laughing, partying, and jovial, while she uses her alleged injured right hand to go through a stack of credit cards to find his credit card so that he could charge the victim of her assault for her expensive celebratory bottle of champagne. And we know she is celebrating by watching her in the video. She's dancing, laughing, and clinking glasses with her new friends from the street. Whoa. I did not think that was his credit card. Jesus Christ. She wouldn't allege this if she hasn't seen proof. Lawyers can say anything. Let me preface everything that I'm saying. Lawyers can and do say anything for their client. I am currently working on a documentary right now in regards to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and even looking at the transcripts for all the depositions in that, I have seen the tricks that these lawyers do, including partially reading text messages without providing full context and trying to get the witness to say something that they didn't mean. This happens. I am not saying all of this is fact, but there are so many things here that they will have to kind of show as basis for their claim. It's easily provable. It's not something that you can be like, oh, well, my dog ate it, so I don't have it anymore. Just go, like, it's something that would appear electronically. So and away from alterations. So looking at this, anyway, back to the reading. So at this point, Ms. Jabari uses her right hand and the finger allegedly broken by Mr. Majors to casually push her behind her right ear. To casually push her hair behind her right ear, also allegedly lacerated by Mr. Majors. Reach into her bag several times, saw through credit cards and the phones, hold the sign the check, and hold champagne glass freely. Clearly, Ms. Jabari is uninjured, unlike Mr. Majors, who is at same time was hiding in a hotel to protect herself from her and photographing his injuries. I will say this. He's probably doing that, but I don't think it's this intense. He's probably doing that, but the way that she's wording it makes it sound so intense. I don't think that's what's actually happening in the hotel. He probably has taken in the pictures away from. I don't know, but it just sounds intense. It's like drama ramped up. Unsurprisingly, having been attacked and assaulted and injured by Ms. Jabari in this public and terrifying way, Mr. Majors wisely ended their relationship and sent her a breakup text, which Ms. Jabari did not see for an hour and a half while she was at the nightclub partying, drinking, and dancing. What did Ms. Jabari do next? Feeling absolutely no remorse or regard for a violent, illegal attack, Ms. Jabari danced off into the crowd holding a glass of champagne, only to return to the bar 15 minutes later for a refill. Having finished her first glass of champagne, she charged to Mr. Majors. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lawyers have such a way with words. But even more telling, not only does Ms. Jabari get a second glass of champagne, laughing, dancing, and smiling all the while, Ms. Jabari is also seen at the bar doing shots, sucking on a lime wedge, laughing and joking. She toasts her new friends as they drain their shots simultaneously and laughing and enjoying themselves. With her right hand, she takes a refill, tucks her hair behind her right ear, points with the index finger, tucking in her remaining fingers, grabs and holds her friend's arm, moves a lime aside and takes a shot of presumably tequila, clinks shots glasses as she toasts her new friends, moves the lime again, takes another shot, wipes the back of her mouth, pick up the lime, places it in her mouth and tosses it on the bar. It could have been just easier to say she just done some shots. But we go on. Holds her refilled champagne glass and walks back into the dancing crowd with her hand in a bowl, with all her fingers folded. All without physical signs of discomfort or any swelling or bruising whatsoever. Again, Ms. Jabari is completely untroubled by what she has done, is having a great time. The bartender verifies this. Her finger is not broken and her ear is not lacerated. What did Ms. Jabari do next? She danced her way to the DJ booth, passed a note to the DJ, danced wildly, even hanging off the DJ booth with her right hand. Drank her champagne, smoked a vape, clearly having a great time. Also clear is that Ms. Jabari is not hurt or injured in any way. Shortly after 3 a.m., as the video shows Ms. Jabari hanging out with the hostess stand and checking her phones casually, perhaps drunk, Ms. Jabari saw Major's breakup text. This is okay. Not only was she shocked, but she was angry. We asked the court to consider this the implication of this. After assaulting, attacking, injuring, and chasing Mr. Majors in front of witnesses, Ms. Jabari was angry and surprised that he ended their relationship. In other words, she obliviously believed that she was entitled to do these things with no consequences under the law or even within their relationship. That in every way she was allowed to do these things to him. Then Ms. Jabari jumped in a taxi. She charged Major's credit card and immediately went to his home. All the while frantically calling Mr. Majors and sending him angry, jealous text messages. At 3:23 a.m., she arrived at the apartment clearly uninjured, as seen in the elevator photos. Oh wow, that's what was okay. I've seen those pictures. and proceeded to enter his apartment, call him 32 times, send him more jealous text messages, and beg him to call her and threaten suicide when Mr. Majors did not respond. Importantly, in her text messages, Ms. Jabari accuses Mr. Majors of infidelity and begs him to call her. Never once in a single text message does Ms. Jabari accuse Mr. Majors of physically injuring her or striking her, nor does she mention any pain or injury. Does she send him photos of any injury? Because there are none. Indeed, Ms. Jabari's texts are uninhibited and full rage at Miss Majors, and her only complaint about him is alleged infidelity. At 7:45, after trying to call Mr. Majors almost 30 seconds for 4 hours, Miss Jabari went silent. From the body cam BWC body worn camera, we know between 7:45 and when Mr. Majors, who only returned to the apartment because of Jabari's suicidal threat. A thorough review. See attached. Lucy nightclub. See attached. You can read the footnotes of this, by yourself. But I'm gonna finish off this. Messages of genuine concern of her safety found her at 11:13. I didn't see messages of that in that thread. I didn't see that. I will say I did not see. I saw the last message I saw was him handing the keys, and then she messaged him when she was at the hospital. So I am very interested to see where he actually sent this message of concerns. Unless, because I didn't see his timestamp either, unless this is the thread before going to the house. So that could be a way. But I didn't see any messages before 11:13 is basically what I'm trying to say. So unconscious and half naked on the floor of the walk-in closet, Ms. Jabari has gotten sick, thrown up in the bed, took a few sleeping tablets, and had no idea why she was in the closet, why she was half naked, what happened to her ear, why her head hurt, or why her finger hurt. When asked what happened by multiple people, both police officers and medics, Ms. Jabari says, "I don't know," 19 times. To be clear, security video of the apartment building shows that Mr. Majors had not returned to the apartment at all until shortly before he found Ms. Jabari, and 2 separate witnesses verified that Ms. Jabari was locked in a bedroom, that Mr. Majors called a handyman to unlock the door, and that immediately upon finding Ms. Jabari unconscious, he called 911. Yikes. The 911 recording proves this also. In other words, there is proof that Mr. Majors was not with Ms. Jabari whatsoever before he found her and called 911 seconds later. This means that whatever caused her injuries, likely falling in the closet after a night of heavy drinking and taking sleeping pills, that is compelling. Mr. Majors, sorry, not Miss Majors. What am I saying? Mr. Majors was not there when the injuries happened. In the body worn cam, which is BWC stands for, and obviously disorientated Miss Jabari admits that she did in fact try to grab Mr. Majors' phone, but she did not admit to slapping, cutting, attacking, or chasing him, as the driver witnessed, and Mr. Majors' photograph injuries and torn clothes prove. It is important to note that Mr. Majors told the police that Ms. Jabari slapped him and tore his coat, yet the police did not ask Ms. Jabari about this at all, in clear violation of domestic violence investigation protocol. This is both disturbing and telling. In his own home, Mr. Majors reported to the police Ms. Jabari's assault of him and showed them evidence, but the police did not even bother to question Ms. Jabari, nor did the police seem concerned or interested whatsoever. In fact, in response to Mr. Majors telling Officer Swain that Ms. Jabari slapped him and may have hurt her finger doing that, the officer shockingly says, "If I smacked you right now, I'm not going to break my finger." It is even worse, though Mr. Majors had consistently explained what happened from his 911 call to his multiple interviews with NYPD and medics on the scene, and his account is corroborated by evidence. The police did not believe him. Even though Miss Jabari admitted to drinking in the point of throwing up, taking sleeping pills, and having no idea how she woke up in a closet with a cut on her head and injured finger. The police jumped to the conclusion that Officer Swain begins coaching. All right, wait. The police jumped into the conclusion that Mr. Majors, the young, tall, strong, rich black man, must have done this to Miss Jabari. Then Officer Swain begins coaching Miss Jabari to accuse Mr. Majors of assault, even pantomiming what she should say. Indeed, Officer Swain can be seen in body cam footage touching his own neck several times when questioning Miss Jabari about what Mr. Majors did, clearly coaching her to say that Mr. Majors grabbed her by the throat. The court should also know what Miss Jabari had done after the police arrested Mr. Majors. She has returned to his apartment and taken items worth thousands of dollars, Rolex, watches, diamond jewelry. Whoa! Time out. Continued to use his credit card for black car services to Brooklyn and JFK and for her food purchases. And Mr. Majors, the victim of a crime, to give her more expensive items and has insisted on keeping a phone which is his property, to which she has no legal claim. The court should take this into account when evaluating Ms. Jabari's credibility and motives in her claim that she requires full order of protection. In this country, we must view everything through the prism of race. No. You lost me here. But I'll read on. I have laid out a complete and verifiable account of what has actually occurred. Now I ask you, Your Honor, to consider this. If the roles were switched, Mr. Majors has done this to Ms. Jabari. What Ms. Jabari did to him, what would that look like? I understand that premise, but I think it was a bad choice to go and say we must lead with race. I think that's really bad. That's a really bad choice. But I understand in reading it all in context. I get what she's trying to paint. I get what she's trying to say but I wouldn't lead with race. I would say at least gender, because I think that's more compelling, because man, woman, if anyway, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's more compelling than race. I don't know, man. I think that's a bit. I mean, I can understand the police angle, yes, but I would have stuck to gender. I would, if I was going down this route, I wouldn't, but I would have brought in gender. But anyway, a tall, strong, young, very famous black man slapping, scratching, cutting, and attacking a petite white woman in a car that is booked in his name, 2 feet from a driver who is watching and who clearly has a video recorder, and then she jumps out of the car to escape him. He chases her down on a public street in busy Manhattan and rips her clothes while grabbing her to prevent her escape. Then when he sees her a few minutes later, he gets back in the car, and in front of the driver and 3 people on the street, he immediately resumes his attack of her. And when she successfully runs away, he then goes clubbing, buys champagne on her credit card, does shots, dances the night away with the very witnesses to his violent attack, and then goes into her apartment to wait for her, and is shocked and angry that she broke up with him after his attack. If Mr. Majors or any black man done things to a white woman, you might consider him a violent, dangerous, abusive psychopath. I see your point. I take it back. I see your point. I just would have led with gender rather than race. But I see your point, because it is a stigma. I do see your point. This is exactly what Ms. Jabari has done. And how does Your Honor consider her? What Ms. Jabari has done here is illegal What Ms. Jabari has done here is illegal and reprehensible, and she continues to victimize Mr. Majors and has a clear agenda to destroy his reputation, because she is angry that he ended their relationship and her life of luxury. The flip on the rich side, that's interesting. In Officer Lucero's body worn cam footage, As Miss Jabari is leaving Mr. Majors, she asks if this will be in the press and is smiling and joyful during the conversation. She also giggles and says, "We haven't had a chance to decorate the apartment yet," suggesting she expects to continue living in Mr. Majors' luxury apartment despite attacking her falsely accusing her. This is bad. Oh my word, this is bad. I'll just say it. It doesn't. The prosecution better have a good case for this. I hope they do. Post-arrest, after Mr. Majors did not respond to her text messages begging him to call her, Ms. Jabari has tried to take from him even more valuable items, having taken many already. And because he has pushed back on this, and even for the return of the legal property she now claims she needs a full order of protection, this is obviously retaliatory and baseless. The district attorney's office as this backwards. Neither Ms. Jabari nor the public need protection from Mr. Majors. He and the rest of New York need protection from Ms. Jabari. The court must critically view the evidence, critically evaluate Ms. Jabari's credibility, and then decide what is the best interest of the people of the state of New York, including Mr. Majors. Mr. Majors is terrified of Ms. Jabari, who has proven herself to be dangerous, violent, vindictive, a liar, and willing to do anything to destroy him. He has absolutely no interest in having any contact with her whatsoever, because there is no mechanism in a criminal case for the court to grant a full order of protection for Mr. Majors. Should this court decide to enter a full order of protection, Mr. Majors consents to the district attorney's proposed order so that Ms. Jabari will not attack, injure, or hurt him any further. The flip is genius. I must admit, it is actually genius here. However, Mr. Majors is hopeful that the district attorney's office will review our materials quickly and dismiss these false charges against him. Sorry about that. Wasn't dismissed. Obviating the need for either advancement or full order of protection. I think advancement is what they got, because it's a very speedy trial now. 3rd of August, it has been scheduled. The specific part in the defense of the prosecutors is just the pure fact that, well, they're arguing for the taxi cab and what happened at the taxi cab, not necessarily what happened at Mr. Major's house. That's a different issue. The defense argument is, well, we can't, well, those injuries could have most likely been caused at the defense's house when she, passed out. So there are two things. That's the controversy here. That's the altercation. So the judge may have really thought, okay, I'm going to dismiss it, but legally there is a controversy here that may require the fact finder to actually dive into, because it's not necessarily about the house. It's not necessarily about what she done after the incident. All of those things are irrelevant in the eyes of the law. Technically it's all irrelevant, because the center point of the controversy is the taxi cab and what happened there. So getting all these witnesses in, getting the video in from the taxi driver, all of these things is what people are going to be looking at, is what the jury is going to be looking at, is what the case is going to be built upon. The narrative, though, is the difference, because the narrative technically will be the after events, what she did, the behavior, to make it really prejudicial against her and make it seem like this girl was not. So, all these things that could happen, all well and good. But if there is evidence that he was actually beating this woman, and it's not as what is being presented in the opening statement, should it go to trial, that the defense was saying, and the narrative, because I assume that this letter will factor a lot into their opening statements. If that's not the case, they have lost the case. So it's going to be really interesting to really see how this plays out, because we must remember, it is not about my opinions. It's not about the core of public opinions that really decides this case. We can have a say. We can have opinions. That's fine. But it will be the final judgment from this case that actually will have, well, the preclusive effect. Whether you choose to believe it or not will be up to you after that. But at least you got to see the chance for this whole thing to be adjudicated in front of 12 fact finders, in this case the jury, they got to deliberate and come to a conclusion about what actually happened. So that's the system we got. My position will always be the same. Have an open mind, wait for the evidence. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. But I disagree with witch hunts, because based on everything that we've seen here, there's a clear side. There's a clear different side to the story here. There's two sides to every story. And we didn't even hear his side, and he had already lost everything. We've shown that in the video. So my own thoughts is, I hope from this case, it's highly unlikely, but I hope that people can look at this case and just stop presuming people are guilty just because a charge has been brought, just because it is, the police has arrested. None of these things concludes anything. The letter I'm reading is easily objectable to legal conclusion, if that makes sense. It's legally conclusive, but that doesn't exist because the court and the fact finder, which is the jury, they have to decide the conclusion of the case, not the lawyer. So everything I've read here is just one side. We've got the other. I have not heard from the prosecutors. So of course this video is going to be one-sided. That's the position I'm in. The prosecutors have refused to decline in anything in regards to this case. They haven't even opined on the alleged victims that have come forward. So I can't speak for where there's nothing to speak about. All I can do is just report this. What do you think? And that's it. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate the time that you've given to watch the video. Even if you liked or disliked the video, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do stay tuned for future updates in regards to this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Keep everything civil. And as usual, massive love for everyone that has been following this case and has tuned in. And even if you tune in for the first time, big love to you too. Take care of yourselves and bless. Have a good day.